What's going on, guys? I'm Landon from Shoewear, and today we're checking out one of the newest released basketball shoes on the market, the Adidas Exhibit A and Eric Emanuel collab in this Victory Blue colorway. Let's go. All right, so first, thank you guys for stopping by to check us out. Feel free to drop a follow or subscribe wherever you're watching and leave this video a like. We would greatly appreciate that. But now let's go ahead and check out the box and the price for these before we dive deeper into the shoe. So as you can see, these do come in a pretty loud, like kind of hot pink box that pretty much makes up the whole base for the entire shoe box. And then on top of that, you're going to see the Adidas logo. And then to the left of that, you're going to see Eric Emanuel's initials, kind of like in a logo form as well to the left of that Adidas logo. So I actually think that that looks pretty sweet in my opinion. And then these do slide out from the side, sort of similar to like a Yeezy box setup if you are familiar kind of with how those come out from the side. And then for pricing, these are retailing for $130. So a little more than what some of their signature athletes shoe lines are going for, like, you know, Damian Lillard or Donovan Mitchell. But, you know, it's honestly still pretty average to below average for pricing just across the board. But that pretty much covers the box and the price for these. So let's move on. All right, so before I get into the performance side of these, let's just kind of check out the design for this Adidas Exhibit A basketball shoe. So just to put this out there first, for anyone who doesn't know, as I said, this is an Adidas collab with Eric Emanuel, and he's a designer kind of most noticeably known for his short designs. And he has done multiple shoe collabs with like Adidas and Reebok, and this just kind of adds to that collection. He actually had a collab on the Adidas Future Natural that kind of released at the same time as these, with like a similar color scheme right along with these ones here. But I've already reviewed the Adidas Future Natural and I haven't checked out this model yet. So that's just kind of how we got here. But jumping into this shoe now, the first thing you're going to notice whenever you're checking these out is that it does come with like a little card that kind of details that these are made up of like at least some form of recycled content. So Adidas does state that at least 20% of the upper on these is going to be made up of 50% minimum recycled material. So it's a little bit tricky to like break down exactly how much that means as being for like total usage on these, but we do know that it means that they aren't letting other materials go to waste. So we have seen a lot of brands start doing stuff like that, and it is cool to see that on these shoes here. But focusing on the model of the shoe itself, these definitely give off like a retro vibe for the look. I think the colors probably play into that a little bit too. So you can see Eric's logo kind of show up near the ankle on these shoes. And it does pop up on the insole of these as well. And there's some cool designs kind of flowing up the tongue of these shoes. And then the laces actually do flow through that like little orange piece on that tongue area too. So on this little hoop. So that's a nice little added piece. But if we're taking personal opinion into consideration, which I guess we are technically since this is my review, then I'm going to have to admit that I don't really rock with the overall makeup for this Exhibit A model. It kind of strikes me as like a shoe you maybe play tennis in a little bit more than basketball, but it's still not bad. Just not my favorite look. But now let's go ahead and move on from the appearance on these and look more into how these hold up on the court. All right, so for the last half of this review, I'll kind of combine the materials, the comfort, the traction, just basically how these hold up to play in. So starting off with the cushioning on these do have a light strike midsole, which does kind of line up with a lot of Adidas basketball shoes. That's what they use for like shoe lines such as Damian Lillard, Derrick Rose, Donovan Mitchell. So I guess the only signature shoe line that doesn't have that light strike cushioning would actually be James Harden. They now have like a boost cushioning setup for his like new Future Natural shoe. But with this light strike setup, sometimes it feels more cushiony and then sometimes it gives a more firm and like responsive feel. And for these, I definitely lean more towards firm. You don't get as much of like a super soft feel whenever you're playing in these shoes. You can pretty much tell that from the second that you put them on. And I wouldn't say that there's like a ton of impact protection like on the front half of these shoes either, but these definitely do play a little bit lower to the ground, but that will help with, you know, making sharper cuts and just giving you a quick burst, just more stuff like that. But moving on to the upper on these and going a little deeper into the materials, this is a good time to remind you that that upper is going to be made up at least somewhat of that like recycled material like I talked about just a minute ago. But this is mostly going to be a mesh upper, which you can kind of see like the breathing points pretty clearly on these with that like white portion on the shoes. And then Adidas did throw on some like TPU overlays, which is kind of represented with those like blue and like orangish colors on that upper. And those are actually like strategically placed to give you a little added stability. So at least I did like that part a lot. And I will say that I actually don't really love the back of this shoe kind of up near the heel where you got that like little U-shaped portion, that U-shaped design where that shows up. That actually kind of like bends in a little bit towards your foot and like grips the back of your Achilles in a somewhat uncomfortable way, in my opinion. But then jumping to the bottom of these and checking out the traction, the setup is going to be a little bit different than like most other basketball shoes, even that Adidas puts out. A lot of their shoes kind of follow more of like a wave pattern. I'm not sure that maybe that's really the best way to say that, but like more of like a rectangular shape on the bottom as well with some curves. And then as you can see here, these feature more of like a diamond setup for the traction. And although all those diamonds do like all face in one direction, they are kind of hollowed out. So that is going to give you pretty good multi-directional coverage. Although truthfully, I wouldn't say it measures up to like the herringbone setup that like in like Nike's shoe line that a lot of basketball shoes have nowadays. But these do have like a rubber outsole. So as far as durability goes, you should be like good to go to playing these indoors or outdoors without really needing to worry about too much fraying for that diamond design. And then to finish up with sizing, I was kind of like checking these out in a rush whenever I got the early access. And I didn't actually realize that I accidentally went a half size down from my like normal true to size at 10.5, but that actually did end up being beneficial for me because as with most Adidas shoes, you may end up needing to drop half a size to maybe even a full size, and the half size did work out for me. Although you may even be able to go a full size down if you like a little bit more of a snug fit. But although Adidas has these listed as like a wide fit on their website, it still isn't like a super wide fit from what I felt. So if you have a little bit wider feet, you may want to, and you want a little extra space, you may want to like consider sticking with your normal size on this shoe. But to finish up, I will say that there probably are some better options out there, in my opinion, that you can get for the same price or even a little bit cheaper than these. But altogether, this shapes up to be a solid shoe for both indoors and outdoors, in my opinion. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our unboxing and performance review on the Adidas Exhibit A and Eric Emanuel collab. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch. If you made it this far, drop your favorite NBA team in the comments below. Mine's the Golden State Warriors. Come at me all you want. But if you're interested in purchasing these shoes, just check out the links in the description below. Also, be sure to click the link in our bio, and from there you can find our shoes that are available for sale on our website. You can also head over to our social media just to kind of stay informed with upcoming sneaker releases. And then last, just feel free to leave a comment below if you like this review, or just let us know any other shoes that you may want us to check out. But until next review, I'm Landon from Shoewear. Peace.